sometimes it's hard to know what to say to someone that you've only known and worked with a little over half a year. So I guess I'll say just two things that come to mind immediately. One is just gratitude. Thank you, Ed, for bringing me on board with such a nice staff to work with. I mean, this is a very skilled, very competent staff, but also a very kind-hearted one, which makes it a really fun place to work. The second thing I wanted to express is my appreciation for the love that you demonstrate for all things worship, your love of music and word, and also your love of the congregation really comes through in your sermon writing. It comes through in things you just say off the cuff during church. And it's just a beautiful thing to witness. So thank you for letting me walk with you for the part of that journey that just happens to be toward the end of your time at Mount Olivet. But it's been a real privilege, so thank you.
Everybody look right there, okay? It's hard to imagine Mount Olivet without Pastor Ed and Sharon. I mean, they've been there the entire time we've been here, right? Yeah. Pastor Ed was the first person to call me to tell me that we would be moving to Arlington and Mount Olivet. Kimmy, do you know where I got the phone call? I was getting off at an exit in Richmond to go interview at another church. I know. So it's hard to imagine what life will be like with Ed and Sharon not here. But we just want to say thank you for all that you have done for our family, for coming to visit Nora when she was born in the hospital, for all of the cool baseball gear you've given to Camden, and for inviting us down to your home. But most importantly, for sharing ministry with us. So, there's only one thing left for us to say.
Thank you, Pastor Ed!
Oh, for Pete's sake.
I learned a new word recently, and that word is loquacious, which is a euphemism for long-winded. Long-winded is usually the way people describe me. So I'm somewhat surprised to find myself at a loss for words this morning to talk about how much Ed and Sharon Walker have meant to me over the years. Ed has worn a number of hats during the time that we've been working together. I knew him first as pastor, then as mentor, as a supervisor when I was on the staff at Mount Olivet, more recently as a colleague, and always as a friend. So this morning I would simply like to say thank you. Thank you, Ed and Sharon. Thank you, Ed, for your leadership and for your guidance over the years. And thank you, Sharon and Ed, for your friendship, something that I treasure and will always treasure.
Pastor Ed hates it when you use the word awesome to describe anything besides God's majestic creation. But when I think about the way that God worked through Ed in his ministry, in his leadership, in his teaching, and in his faithfulness, I can't think of a better word. Ed and Sharon, Mount Olivet has been so very blessed by your presence, and I know that your next church will be equally as blessed.
3, 2, 1. We don't talk about the walkers leaving. We don't talk about the walkers leaving. It is their time to go. We are so grateful that they've been here for almost 10 years. He baptized me when I was very young.
Baptized.
We also love playing in the yard with Finn. We're so glad that you're part of our life, and we're thankful for all that you've done. We'll miss you, but we're glad that you're not going to be don't talk about the walkers leaving. We don't talk about the walkers leaving.
Hi, Ed. It's your favorite accountant. Spent some time this afternoon thinking about all the things we shared in ministry at Mount Olivet together. And I thought about the capital campaign, Now is the Time, and how you brought Pat Luna in to help us. I remember it was a great, successful campaign under your leadership, and we raised a lot of money. Enough to make some repairs and upgrades to the organ, and also enough money to make renovations in the fellowship hall. We had so much money, we needed a building committee chair. I remember another meeting in your office when you tried to convince Mike Nelson to be the building committee chair. It was going to be a short-term project, shouldn't take that long. Oh boy, little did we know it was going to take a very long time to complete the project, but so worthwhile. I think the main thing I'm going to remember about you and miss you for is your ability to fix things. In particular, I remember we hosted a large funeral service for Callaway United Methodist Church. And you wanted to make sure that everything went smoothly. You were all over the building, including the ladies' restroom in the gathering space. You see, as I remember, there was a very large flood in one of the toilets, so large that it overflowed into the gathering space, into the library downstairs in the hallway. It was a mess. And you were in there trying to solve it. What I also remember is there was a gentleman in the gathering space asking, "Where's your custodian? You know, that guy that just went in the ladies' room, where is he?" Oh, you mean Pastor Ed. I also remember at community assistance, we would all wear walkie-talkies so that we could communicate with each other throughout the day. And one day in particular, I heard on the walkie-talkie, "Where's Pastor Ed? We need him in the kitchen." So I go looking for Pastor Ed, trying to find you. And when I go into the kitchen, I find you lying on the floor with your arm into the oven, trying to light the pilot light. We all know you are the only person that can light that oven. Oh my land, what are we going to do? We're going to miss you so very much, Ed. I know I will. It's been great.
Hi, Pastor Ed. Hi, Miss Sharon. This is the Lee family. We just want to take this time to offer congratulations to Pastor Ed on his forthcoming retirement. I, in particular, am so thankful for the time that I spent at Mount Olivet working with and alongside you. A lot of what I learned about being a pastor during our time together were helpful for my own ministry journey. So thank you and blessings to you and Miss Sharon as you all prepare to enter this new phase of your journey. And again, from all of us to you all, we say,
Congratulations!
Hi, Ed. Hi, Sharon. Wow, what an accomplishment to get to this chapter of your life. My hope is that the days ahead will be filled with lots and lots of wonderful sunsets, sunrises, whichever is best suited for your personalities. I know you're near, close, on the water, and that sounds heavenly to me. I can't tell you how much I just hope you have a fabulous next chapter. And Sharon, you and I have never really gotten to meet each other, but I've heard a lot about you, and I know that you are a tremendously wonderful person, and I just hope that you get to have all the wonderful time ahead of you in doing the things that you and Ed like to do. Ed, we have been friends for a long time, and we certainly worked hard on the Board of Ordained Ministry together. And I just thank you for your friendship, for being a wonderful colleague, and all the times that you have supported me and encouraged me, especially in the last couple of years when the times I needed it. So my love to you and your family, good health and happiness I wish for you. And, I hope our paths cross. Maybe one day we will end up in that sailboat together, because that sure would be fun. Blessings to you. Thank you for all your giving and all your great ministry, both of you, and all the ways that you have so wonderfully tended God's people. And much love from Herb too, as well. Blessings.
Hi, Sharon.
Hello, Ed.
Jeff and I are so excited about your next chapter, but I am also sad that you are leaving. I will especially miss Sharon, my partner in the early days of the way. I have wonderful memories of us preparing the old fellowship hall for worship and playing guitar and bass, being bandmates together. You have been my confidant and friend, and my life at Mount Olivet will not be the same without you.
I struggle with what to say to my friend Ed. I thought about sharing how much I value your vision, how much I have appreciated your unflagging support in my work in the church, how much your guidance and mentorship have shaped my ministry. Then there is your amazing example of remaining constantly unflappable, your awesome ability to bring calm in stressful times. I even considered conceding that my opinion of William and Mary has improved dramatically, knowing you. Sure, you have graced Mount Olivet, and me, with a consistent yet continually evolving vision while managing the day-to-day work and ministry of Mount Olivet. No one is better at fixing everything, from sump pumps to computers. You have built and nurtured an incredible staff, and led and ministered to our congregation and community during an unprecedented time of illness and change. But last night it hit me. What strikes me viscerally every time I see it is your compassion and your caring. You feel each personal and national tragedy directly, and in each case point us to God, encouraging us to both lament and hope. Your response to the tragedy in Buffalo, a tragedy both unthinkable and increasingly common. Your response gives words to our emotion and voice to our faith in difficult times. And for this, I am truly grateful. Pam and I will miss you both and are blessed to have you in our lives.
May God continue to bless you both.
Now, go be awesome.
Like Lola.
See you later.
Bye.
Pastor Ed, you are a trustworthy skipper, skilled in navigating Sundays and seasons, orthodox theology and discipleship, successful capital campaigns, and a wonderful organ project, which I won't even mention at all. For God's glory, and in thanksgiving and reverence for our baptism, I am thankful for our partnership in ministry and mission. I give thanks for you and Sharon and our time together at Mount Olivet, singing in the choir, playing bells, and making choir videos to praise God. I praise God for the privilege of sharing God's love with everyone. The cross is our anchor, and the harbor of heaven is our safe and eternal home.
Hi, Ed and Sharon. Gosh, it sounds so good to be able to say that. I wish you the happiest of times together as you embark on this next stage of your life together. It's been such a blessing to have known you and served in ministry with you at Mount Olivet. You've always made us feel like we held a special place in your heart, just as you do in ours. Ed, I will always remember your words to me just after Stephen talked with you in the sanctuary about his retirement plans. And as you came down the aisle, you said, "Take care of Stephen." Well, Sharon, I'm passing some of those same words on to you. Take good care of Ed. This is not goodbye. It's till we meet again. Love and blessings.
Dear Ed, I know that we discussed this recently, but I remember the first question I asked you at our first staff meeting when you came to Mount Olivet. Because of my love of animals, the question was, do you have any pets? At the time you said yes, and we talked about Sweet Toby. I'm so happy for you that you'll now be able to spend more time with Finn running around and spending time in the water. And Sharon too, of course. I'm really going to miss you, our chats, your fairness and honesty, whether I wanted to hear it or not, and your sense of humor. I appreciate all I've learned from you over the last 9 years. I wish you many great years at your beautiful home on the river. I hate goodbyes, so just going to say, see you soon.
Ed, first, let me say, congratulations. You've run the race, so to speak. I want to extend my appreciation and my congratulations for your wonderful ministry here at Mount Olivet. Though I may have arrived on the tail end of it, right as we walked right into a global pandemic that threw all of us aside and threw all of us asunder, I just want to say and extend my appreciation for the ways in which you have shepherded and ministered to Mount Olivet while you've been here. When I showed up, there were lots of questions I had about what it was to be a pastor and what it was to be a leader, particularly in difficult situations, in difficult times. And you've taught me a lot. You taught me about what it is to listen, taught me about what it is to hear the different voices and the conflicts and the interests and the passions within a congregation. You have this capacity to understand how people are feeling and seek to live into that and seek to assist them and help them grow in their faith all the while. I want to leave you with what you gave me. I told you during confirmation that I will never be able to forget the way you described Holy Communion, the way in which you were open and vulnerable and said that to you, when you celebrate the breaking of the bread, you see everyone you've ever been in ministry with. And you see Jesus abiding with us, resting with us within that fellowship. I will continue to see you as well, Ed, shepherding, laughing, knowing that you are sailing ever onward in the arms of our God. Thanks, Ed. Be well.
Pastor Ed and Sharon, we are all going to miss you so much. Your dedication to Mount Olivet has been unparalleled, and we are forever positively changed as a congregation due to your leadership. Pastor Ed, you are a wise, strategic visionary that has guided us through so many tumultuous times. For me, there's no better example of this than Holy Conversations. More than 8 years ago, you brought together a wonderfully eclectic group of members to facilitate dialogue and reflection within the congregation regarding the LGBTQI community. You had a vision for how we as a congregation could explore the topic in a loving and thoughtful manner. I think most of us will agree that Holy Conversations enabled us to do just that and come out on the other side a stronger church, now a reconciling church, clear to the world that we are a welcoming congregation to all people. And with real confidence, we mean all. We will miss your wisdom, thoughtfulness, guidance, patience, and love. We wish you the very best in what's to come and a breeze that fills your sails in just the right way. You deserve it. Thank you.
Hi Ed, hi Sharon, it's Justin Kopka, and as you come to a time of transition in your lives, in departing from Mount Olivet and moving on to what I hope will be a wonderful, rich, and great retirement, I just want to thank you for your time with us at Mount Olivet and for all that you've given to Mount Olivet in your efforts. I was reflecting and came across two types of people that you are. One are shepherds, that you're shepherds and people who have led the Mount Olivet community and the Mount Olivet congregation with faithfulness, with care, with goodness, and with genuine love in your hearts for us. And that we really do appreciate. I think the second, which would be more familiar with both of you, is that of a ship's captain, of folks who have taken us on a journey with a clear presence, with a calmness, with a caring of leading us through a variety of issues, through a variety of causes, and have made the Mount Olivet community and congregation a better and stronger community. So for that, I thank you. Martha thanks you. Our family thanks you. And I know the Mount Olivet community thanks you. So all the best to you in all future endeavors. May you find happiness and faith in whatever you do next. And please keep Mount Olivet in your hearts and minds as we keep you in our hearts and minds. So again, thank you. Take care and be well.
Greetings, Ed. With me on the screen, I'm sure you know what I'm going to talk about. There we were just not too many years ago when you and Maryland asked me to come into your office, and you gave me that nudge to lead a team to make some improvements to the fellowship hall. And I believe that meeting was in the winter sometime. In the spring, we were going to have a capital campaign, and then in the summer, by the end of that summer, we were going to have wrapped up all these improvements. Well, as you know, 3 or 4 years later, we did wrap up that project, and that project became a complete renovation of the fellowship hall into what it is today. We made an addition to the building that enabled us to put accessible restrooms on that lower level, a nice wide open stairway. At the top of the stairway is a lobby area between the sanctuary and the preschool. At the bottom of the stairway is a lobby and greeting area outside the fellowship hall with more storage. We did some workout in the hallway out to 16th Street and improved that quite a bit. Some work in L5 to change out that kitchen and some other work in the classroom. And no project like that ever happens without a really, really good team, which you help us assemble, and we had that good team. But even more so, a project like that doesn't happen without the fantastic vision and advocacy and inspiration of a leader like you, who helped all of us to see that vision and inspire us to get behind it, and inspire the congregation to get behind it, and help us to do more, to take an already thriving congregation and help us to do more, as we say on our mission trips, to be the hands and feet of Christ, and you helped us to do that, and thank you. I also thank you for the nudges you gave me to participate and be active in other ways. We developed the master plan for the playground and executed the first phase, and between projects like that, the fellowship hall project and the playground, it makes Mount Olivet more warm and welcoming, not only to our membership but to the entire community, which is part of the mission. And we thank you. And then maybe as at the end of this, Ellen can put up a picture of the cornerstone that we just were able to get put in just a few weeks ago, and that just kind of show as a physical memory of the legacy that you're leaving here at Mount Olivet, of the great work we did on those projects and others. But on behalf of the Nelson family, thank you for the great worship services, for the conversations, for the guidance and friendship, and for inspiring us to continue to make Mount Olivet the congregation that it is, and even more the congregation that it can be. It is really sad to have to make this video and to say goodbye. We're sad to see you go, but we're also excited for you for whatever is next, whether that's another congregation or even more exciting, if it's retirement, and to go out and for you and Sharon to enjoy what's next, enjoy your family, and all of the great things that are out there for you. So thank you again. God bless you, and peace.
Hi everyone, I'm Vince Price, and I want to share with you a quick story about the organ and about grace. So during the last capital campaign, I was the lead for the task force responsible for renovating the church organ. And initially we were off to a really good start. However, we came to learn that there's going to be more work that was outside of the organ builder's proposal. We'd have to probably even find more money than we'd been budgeted for this. So there I was, having to take this new reality to a combined meeting of church finance and trustees and capital campaign. And I think I even leaked out during that conversation that perhaps the church should find someone with capabilities and competencies that exceed mine to lead this. That's when I received grace of Pastor Ed Walker. Ed proceeded to tell me that he was sorry to hear that I was feeling as if I was letting the church down. What I heard in that was, Vince, it's going to be okay. Know you're doing your best, and your best is going to be good enough, more than good enough for us. Most of you know the rest of the story. The church has been enjoying a new and improved instrument that even made the cover of American Organist magazine, cover and feature article a couple years ago. But what I'll remember the most about the whole organ renovation project is the grace Ed Walker extended to me. I'm sure most of you can share your own stories about that. Ed, thank you. I'm honored to be a part of the opportunity to recognize the leadership and guidance that you and Sharon have provided our church community. God bless you.
Hello, Ed. Well, it's been 6 years. Our relationship has really evolved these last 6 years. Started off kind of negative, didn't it? Only because I had just been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. But during that long and very difficult journey, and right up until now, those many months in the hospital and recuperating, and since that time, what can I say except that I so appreciate the privilege of getting to know you on a much deeper level. When you lent your ear, you listened. You were so forthright, so kind, but you made it so simple, Ed. As I've told you before, you took some pearls of wisdom and said to me, Sally, it's really very simple. It's God's will, nothing more, nothing less, and nothing else. And those pearls of wisdom served me very well as I lay in the hospital, not sure which way it would go, and afterwards, and to this day. And I also want you to know that those words also resonated with friends that I have been able to share that wisdom with them since then, that have also traveled a tough journey. I can't tell you how much that meant, how much your friendship has meant as we've gotten to know each other on a much deeper level. I will say at the time I had to laugh a little bit. Looking back, I laughed because after one of your several trips to visit me at the hospital, soon after that, I was visited actually by not one, but 2 priests, and then 2 rabbis. I said, oh my gosh, Ed must be saying she's at death's door. So you called in the troops. But thank you. And let me just say, going forward, Ed, I wish you and Sharon all the best. And to put in your words, I know you all are going to sail a lot of different waves coming up. I don't know which way your ship will sail, but I know it'll be great because of your words, because it will be God's will. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing else. I will miss you, as all of us will at Mount Olivet, and just know my thoughts and prayers go with both of you. Many, many blessings. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been a privilege. Thank you.
Hi, Ed. Ann and I want to send best wishes to you and Sharon. And I want to send a big thank you to you for your support of Mount Olivet's mission and outreach activities. You've been there for us, for our Haiti mission teams, for Change the World service days, and in recent years, Nova Friends of Refugees. I can't tell you how important it's been
to have the office copier and Ellen's design talents available for us to grow. Hasn't always been easy. So I'm standing here now, appropriately, with the rainstorm about to start, to offer my apologies for taking two Mount Olivet mission teams to Haiti during hurricanes. I'm sorry for any worry that may have caused, although it really was quite an adventure. Nevertheless, I appreciate your leadership in banning me from ever again taking mission teams overseas during hurricane season. Nevertheless, for more adventure, those added adventures notwithstanding. Seriously, it's been a pleasure having you as our pastor and benefiting from your guidance and support of our mission work. I know you and Sharon will have years of smooth sailing ahead. One little bit of advice, just stay away from the Caribbean during September and October. Best wishes, blessings.
Hey Sharon, I've so enjoyed being co-conspirators together in so many different ways. Working on the visual arts team together, which included at least a couple of times climbing around in that closet looking for things and sprucing up all of those bouquets for the altar. It included art camp for adults, making felt in your kitchen, working on etching glass, doing indigo dyeing in the backyard, all the fun that we got to do there. It included choir together. Remember the day that we arrived and showed up in the exact same dress? That was so funny. And all those hours together at Boyd Able. I wish you and Ed all the best of luck. We will miss you at Mount Olivet.
Hi, Ed and Sharon. Here I am in my car. Must be on my way to Mount Olivet. Seemed like a pretty appropriate place to do this video. I'm not driving right now, so my attention's not divided. I'm not very good at goodbyes, so maybe I'll just share a few memories and hope they bring a smile to your face. First of all, I want to thank both of you for your support through some of the rough spots in my life that have taken place since you've been at Mount Olivet. Losing Wayne and later my mom and most recently Devontae has been tough, but you were there through all of those times with your support and prayers, and I appreciate it. Sharon, I loved singing alto with you, and I miss you very much. It was fun, it was fellowship, and I hope you keep singing at your new church. They'll appreciate a good alto. And Ed, thank you for making me feel like a part of the staff at Mount Olivet. Including me in events that went on for the staff has really touched my heart, and I thank you for that. And I also enjoyed singing with you for a little bit, Ed. We're sorry you didn't get to keep singing with us once the way got started and you had to be in two places, but I still love to walk in front of you and hear your tenor harmonies that come through as we're singing hymns. I wish you both Godspeed. I know it's going to be an exciting journey and that there'll be challenges, and I know you're up to them. And just remember, Ed, everything's going to be all right. I love you.
Hi, I'm J.D. Hansen, Chair of the Caretakers of God's Creation Committee at Mount Olivet. One of the goals of the Virginia Annual Conference Green Church Initiative is to have pastors incorporate caring for creation into worship and in all of their ministry. I believe that Ed Walker has done it in a way that should be a model for the next senior pastors that Mount Olivet will receive far into the future. I'm delighted that Ed and Sharon have been regular participants in the Spirit and Nature group that is part of our Caretakers of God's Creation ministry. During the pandemic, we have been able to walk together and worship together in parks around Arlington and Northern Virginia. Ed and Sharon have committed to starting a Spirit and Nature group at their next church, and Ed is taking the training for Spirit and Nature group leaders. My Christmas Eve this past year started with Ed and Sharon walking with me along Windy Run to Arlington's only waterfall. I was reminded how often Jesus walked with his disciples and came to call them friends. By walking with Ed, I feel I have worshiped together with him as a friend in a way that I could not inside our wonderful building. Ed has become a friend of both me and our Caretakers ministry. I'll miss Ed, and we'll look forward to seeing him soon in Gloucester to inspect his oyster beds. And we'll perhaps be able to join Ed and Sharon in a Spirit and Nature walk led by them at their new church. God bless you, Ed, in your new ministry. We'll miss you, but look forward to seeing you soon. Amen.
Hi, Pastor Ed and Sharon. On behalf of the United Methodist Women of Mount Olivet, I'd like to thank you for all your love and fellowship and support of our unit during your time here with us. It seems like just yesterday we were welcoming you, and now we have to say goodbye, but you will always be welcome. Thanks for all the memories. Bon voyage.
Shortly after the murder of George Floyd, Karen McElfish and Cheryl Moore approached Ed with concern. What is Mount Olivet's response going to be in this season of racial unrest? Apparently, Ed had already been thinking about this. Cheryl reports that he was in immediate agreement that they convene the Sharing God's Grace group to talk about the way forward. Now, 2 years later, with Ed's mentoring and leadership, the racial equity team has flourished. An historical review of Mount Olivet's racial history has been published. 11 program events have been sponsored. A Black Lives Matter banner has been hung, and weekly thematic racial resources have been offered in the announcement e-news. Ed has been the supportive force behind all these accomplishments. Some pastors lead by forcefully dominating the conversation and directing the actions of their church. Other pastors lead by mentoring, guiding, and shepherding the lay leadership within their congregations. Ed is the second type of pastor. By nurturing the passions and ideas that spring from the team, Ed has helped bring direction to what has been accomplished. He has been present for every monthly meeting. He has provided resources when needed. He has conferred and planned with the leadership team. He has helped recruit new members. He has lifted racial equity concerns up from the pulpit on Sunday mornings. But most importantly, when the team has become bogged down in decision-making, after allowing ample time for discussion, Ed unfailingly offers up the perfect solution which no one else has considered. He has also provided the constant reminder that nothing we do has any meaning apart from advancing the kingdom work of love.
Hi, Sharon and Ed. I want to take this chance to tell you just how much your 9 years in Arlington and at Mount Olivet have meant to me. Your roles of pastor, collaborators, neighbors, and friends have made my life richer, more meaningful, and a lot more fun. Ed, in your role as my pastor and spiritual guide, you encouraged me to take on leadership roles to help Mount Olivet and our community. And if I've succeeded in some small way, it's in large measure due to you. Sharon and Ed, you've been wonderful neighbors, always willing to pitch in. Whether it was keeping an eye on the house, sharing plants, or helping me in the yard, you were always willing to go above and beyond. I can remember when I was away traveling in the Midwest and the storm came through and the tree limbs came down, and you came over and dragged the tree out of the yard and cut it up with your chainsaw and stacked it on the porch. And Sharon and Ed, you have been special friends, and I can't tell you how meaningful that has been to me. When we were early in the pandemic, it was a special kindness that you showed to me. We were having lunch in the parking lot with the United Methodist men, and as we all sat around socially distanced, I mentioned that I was going stir crazy because I hadn't been more than a few miles from the house and hadn't really seen anybody. Afterwards, you invited me to come and visit you at John's Point. I can't tell you how special that visit was to me, and I think that it brought our friendship to a whole new level. Sharon and Ed, I will miss you greatly, and hope that you have a wonderful new chapter, and don't be strangers.
Sally and I would like to reflect on our experiences with you and share with you our appreciation for so much that you've done for both Mount Olivet and for us personally in our involvement with the church.
We're so glad you were chosen to come to Mount Olivet and that you stayed so long with us and served us so well. Sharon, we appreciate your contribution to the music ministry and your ever supportive presence. And Ed, you were involved in everything. One of my favorite ways to see you was your full-on support of community assistance, how you were always present and how all the guests always felt comfortable with you. You've been such a blessing to our family. We're very happy to have served under you, and we appreciate your dedication, your service, and the time you invested in the Mount Olivet community.
You're well known as a good recruiter, and folks have a difficult time in saying no to you, and you leverage that talent of yours to bring us closer to the church and to become involved. When we lost our son David, Ed, you welcomed us, brought us into your arms. You comforted us, and you put together the most beautiful service that will remain in our hearts forever. I want to thank you for your foresight and your vision in looking to the future of Mount Olivet. I'm going to take the liberty to speak for the entire task force to say thank you for your vision. So on your departure and on your journey into the next season of your lives, we wish you fair winds and following seas. Thank you very much. All the best.
Hi, Pastor Ed. We just wanted to wish you and Sharon the very best on your next adventure and in retirement. We can't thank you enough for all that you've done for us, especially when it comes to COVID-related weddings. You provided us with so many memories that we'll never forget, and I can't think of a better way to have started out our marriage than at Mount Olivet and with you presiding.
Pastor Ed, every week you brought so much wisdom and joy to our lives and so many others' lives during weekly service and online. And during some of our darkest moments and most uncertain times, your guidance really got us to a happy and bright memory that we'll never forget. Thank you so much, and enjoy your retirement.
Ahoy, mateys! Captain, my captain, where are you going?
So Ed and Sharon, we are going to miss you so terribly much. I just think back to what brought us to this church. That we were looking for the perfect church as we were church shopping, and we were very impressed with the music and the children's program. But what really got us was Ed's preaching, and particularly the week that he put a West Marine bag on the pulpit was when we were all in. But particularly the sermons that you seem to take the most risks, the most creative, really original approaches, which I can only imagine a lot of work and a lot of bravery goes into those, and that's what I appreciate the most about you. So I just want to thank you.
So we're gonna miss you.
And your steady leadership and your voices keep singing.
And thank you for making this a good home port for our family. We have enjoyed many years here with you, your assistance in helping us navigate troubled waters, and you always taught me to honor the marker. I will always remember when you told me that.
All right, just remember, everything is awesome.